Great, welcome. My name is Laura Fine-Hawks. Many of you have seen me on the recruiting trail. I'm the chair of the Performing Arts Department here at Santa Fe University of Art and Design. And I've brought some friends. So we're gonna do a quick introduction. These are students in our program actively pursuing degrees in our program. They're likely to tell it like it is. We think you want to hear from them as much as you might want to hear from faculty, and you've heard from many of our faculty. So we want to open up the floor. We're going to do a quick introduction. Each student will tell you their name, where they originally came from. I always find that interesting, and what degree they're pursuing here. And then we'll have some time to answer your questions and some time for our students to give you maybe stories or some information they feel like you might need to know or want to know about our program or life here as a student at Santa Fe University of Art and Design. And it snowed this morning, by the way. Blooming trees, enormous blooming cherry blossom trees, and we got 2 inches of snow. So that is spring in Santa Fe. Welcome. Thanks. Great. Let's lead off. Why don't you start, Ramiro? Let's do Ramiro eventually and then lead off with you guys and work our way around. Cool.
Hi, my name is Ramiro Leal. I'm from San Antonio, Texas as an acting major.
I'm Evangeline Zota. I'm from Waco, Texas, and I'm a stage management major.
Hi, I'm Donabella Litton. I am from Tomball, Texas, and I'm a musical theater major.
Hello, I'm Lee Veens. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm a BFA acting major.
Here. Hi, I am Megan Kelly. I am from Frederick, Maryland, and I am a BFA acting major.
Hi, I'm Tristan Pullen. I'm from Sulphur Springs, Texas, and I am a BFA acting major with a minor in technical theater.
Hi, I'm Kinsey Sarian. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I'm a BFA musical theater major.
Hi, my name is Jared Vasquez. I'm from Prosper, Texas, and I'm a musical theater major.
I'm Isaac Navarro. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm a musical theater major.
I'm Reagan Roby. I'm also from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm a stage management major.
I'm Austin Cresswell. I'm from Gainesville, Texas, and I'm a technical design major.
Cara Zotai. I'm from Waco, Texas, and I'm a stage management major.
Hi, I'm Bryce Hamilton. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I'm a musical theater major.
I'm Alexis Lacey. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm an acting major.
I'm Alyssa Vogel. I'm from Lockhart, Texas, and I'm a BFA musical theater major.
I'm Maggie Eskridge. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm a BA acting major.
I'm Britton Gillespie. I'm from Garland, Texas, and I'm an acting major.
Hi, I'm Matthew, and I'm from Waco, Texas, and I'm a design major.
Hi, I'm John Dottie. I'm a BFA acting major with a minor in writing, and I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
Hello, my name is Nebraska. I am from Waco, Texas, and I am a BFA musical theater major.
Hello, I'm Isaac Tipton Snyder. I'm from Boulder, Colorado, BFA acting with a minor in tech theater.
Hi, I'm Heather Campbell. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia, and I am a stage management major.
All right. Well, we'd like to remind you that you can always log in and ask questions live. And we have a couple coming in, so we should start with the first one, which is what is it to work with faculty and staff that are coming in from New York and LA? So we'd like to answer that one.
Well, personally, last semester we had a faculty member here from LA named Amanda Czar, and she taught my acting class, and it was really remarkable, really completely changed the way I perform and even just think about myself. So it's pretty cool.
Go for it, Dawn.
I'd say it's really interesting hearing their points of view and also hearing about the work that they've done in the past and that they're continuing to do even as they're teaching us. And it helps to give us more goals, I guess, and more things to look forward to.
I also just think it's really nice having people from these locations because it gives us more connections in the outside world. If we actually work with them and form a working relationship with them, then we kind of know that we can reach out to them if we really need them. So I think that's a really cool thing about it.
Did anyone else work with Amanda Czar last semester?
Oh, yes.
What was some of the experience with her?
Well, we learned viewpoints.
Tell them.
Yes. We learned viewpoints and Suzuki, which are two acting techniques.
Have a lot to do with physical discipline and like exploring your own physicality and stuff like that.
It's basically kind of like different guidelines that you follow that help you kind of break that
thing in your head of like, well, I'm just going to wait for the director to tell me what to do. Like it gives you different things to work with, like architecture and tempo and all these different kind of elements that are just like naturally around us, and we just respond to those kind of stimuli in whatever way we feel, and it just kind of helps you break out of that shell of like, what do I do?
Well,
Go ahead.
well, and then it also really helped you like getting out of your head and really getting physical and like being able to like embrace the text, not always be thinking it and getting internal with it and really projecting it out onto the audience.
It helps with the actor fear that we all have.
I know that this semester we're really lucky having Brian Gillespie part of being our faculty. Did anyone of y'all get to work with him this semester? Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Well, I got to work with him in the show Polaroid Stories, and also I'm in a class Shakespeare with him. And working on the show was just incredible. You know, he brought in a lot of different insights that a lot of directors here, not saying that they're bad, but just saying it's different and it's unusual, and it was really cool. And the show that we did here was unlike anything else. And then working with him in class is definitely exciting too, especially with Shakespeare, since we haven't had a class here for Shakespeare.
Great. Anyone else want to talk about our current faculty and staff?
Oh, about what? About Brian?
Yeah.
Well, just going off of what Maggie just said about our Shakespeare class, just recently in the last couple days, we have all been working, all of us in the Shakespeare class have been working on soliloquies from Hamlet. And in order to get us to really break what we think Shakespeare is and how it should be done, he's been making us do incredibly physical, stressful, crazy tasks while doing these soliloquies. Like this one right here, he had to do To Be or Not to Be, and had to do a wall sit, like lifting a dumbbell the entire time.
With a knife in the other hand. To be or not to be.
Yeah. Ramiro, what did you have to do?
I had to push people around. It was the method behind it was pushing or feeling the strenuous mental things that are happening inside Hamlet's mind with physical movement. So pushing people around and that force against each other and stuff like that, definitely.
Yeah, I had to like box. I was punching pads that John was holding. Yeah, you had to do that too.
Megan got gloves. I did not know.
All right. So should we move to the next question?
We should.
All right.
So should freshman acting students have tech hours? Or do freshmen have tech hours? Should they?
Yes. Should they? Actually, let's expand this question, and maybe Tristan, you can speak more on this since you are an acting major and a tech major. So how is that, what made you decide you wanted to be part tech, part actor, and bridging that gap?
Well, I really am focusing on directing right now, and I knew that in this world that we live in this industry, that you can't just survive by acting. You have to, you may get a call to focus lights and you get $200 that day. You may get called in to paint a set or, help, be a costume dresser. And I really wanted to broaden my horizons with that so that I could really get connected in this industry. So if there comes a time that I need to do something, at least I have the basic knowledge to get it done.
Definitely. What about our tech majors? Give me one second.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that it's fairly easy to discover if you do want to be a tech minor or a tech major if you're already acting or musical theater, because there are certain classes that you have to take as a freshman. And depending on which major you are, you can either take like 2 or 4 toolbox classes is what they're called. And they're just tech classes where you go do a tech class and then you are assigned to a show on run crew or costume crew or something like that. So it's good to have that you can discover actually do want to do that.
Definitely. Can we get some input from our tech majors and what is it like, what class do you take and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I came here and originally was musical theater, but took some tech classes and realized that I definitely wanted to do tech. And I mean, I think the tech classes that we have here are just great. I mean, once you're not a freshman, you have R&P hours. So it's a class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but actually it's changed now, so the hours are different. Accurate, but it's a lot during the week, and you learn how to do stuff in the shop, you learn how to focus lights, you work on the shows, you make the sets, you help with the builds, and so it's really cool to be a part of that as well. And then after the toolbox classes, there's upper level tech classes, so you can take lighting design, costume design, set design, and depending on what your major is, I mean, you take all of them, but depending on what your specialization is, it really helps you out. Like, I'm a stage management major, and the stage management classes have taught me so much that I wouldn't even have known before that I didn't know, you know? So I really love the classes here. I think that they're super great, and we have a lot of opportunities.
Awesome. Anyone else want to talk about their tech endeavors?
It's also the teachers who teach the tech classes, because I know my freshman year we had a teacher who wasn't that great. He's gone now, which is good. Which is awesome.
Unfiltered.
But it's really great because the people who are here teaching us actually know what they're doing. They've been in the field. They know how to explain it to you so it makes sense, which I think is also really important. Yeah, they're great.
I think this leads us to our next question, which is, do tech majors have to decide on their specific track of specialization at the beginning or later on, or when do you get to decide what you're going to focus on?
Whenever you want, right?
Well, you know what, let me take a little bit of that, and then I do want the students to, you don't actually, technically, no pun intended, ever have to choose a specific area. So we have students that come to us that want to do it all. You know, I hear that all the time. So you take, someone in the background is raising their hands. Jocelyn, you can come right in front of us. So we have students that really want to try everything, and we encourage that. All of our design tech students take classes in all areas. And then I think our students, we would like to think, and this is where I really want you guys to speak up, if there are interests, as many times there are, I want to do lighting design, I'm a senior in high school, or I found lighting design and now I'm in love with sound design, or, you know, yeah, someone else in the background is raising their hand. Who's running the sound, by the way? You know, I think we're small enough that we give students opportunities, and there's a constant feedback between the professors and the students about what they want to do. Now, let's let the students answer that.
I know I can speak on that because I'm stage management is what I want to do. I've known that since before I came to college, which is great. But I also really love set construction and like hanging lights and all that stuff. And we have chances to do that here, especially in R&P, because if you're in the shop, you basically get to do whatever you want that needs to get done. And also, like, I've set design shows before, and I've been on a lighting crew because I thought it was fun and I thought it was cool, and I got that experience. And maybe it's not what I want to do, but I know how to do it now if it ever comes up, which I think is also really cool.
She's an awesome painter.
That too. Paint calls are great.
And actually, you want to talk about your tech experience as well?
Yeah, just I agree with Heather. Like, I'm a stage management major, but I've been in the shop recently because I just got done with Polaroid stories, and just learning how to use like a chop saw or like a table saw. Just like, but we have an amazing shop manager and technical director back there, just kind of guiding all the students back there, and it's wonderful because they make you not afraid to do those things. And like, I mean, you might get a position one day, sometime in the future professionally, that you have to hang a light one day, but you know how to do it. And if you're graduate with a stage management degree, you know how to do that, then you have that broad opportunity to go out there and search for jobs and such. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Next question for our acting majors. Can freshmen audition for the shows, main stage shows, and can they get cast?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually an interesting question because last year, I'm a sophomore, P.S. There were the rigorous auditions the second we got here. And first semester, yeah, most of us didn't get cast. However, we still had the opportunity after that to do what we have there called room plays, where you rehearse, you audition, obviously, you get cast, and then you rehearse rigorously for one whole week, and that weekend you open the show and you run it just that weekend. But then second semester we have our one musical. This year we're doing Heather's musical. But considering it last year, Lee and I, we were the only freshmen who got cast in the show. So it is definitely possible for freshmen to get cast in a main stage production.
It happens all the time here.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
This semester, we have 2 freshmen as leads in Heather's.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a freshman in Polaroid Stories as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dylan and I forget his name.
So I'm gonna go back to
not this Jared.
I'm gonna go back to you mentioned that we have several shows throughout the semester. What kind of shows do we have? Explain a little bit more about that. Like what differentiates main stage from a black box, from a room play, from a student directed, and all that stuff.
So we have 2 main stages a semester, and if you don't get cast, you always audition at the very beginning of the semester, and freshmen can audition, and they are required to
they
audition.
actually have to audition.
But like, I remember Donna over here, her freshman year, she got cast as a lead in the first show of the year. And you can get cast as a freshman. It's just about like the talent that you bring to the table, how prepared you are. And if you don't, you still have an opportunity to get into several other shows. There are the room play shows. If you're a freshman, I don't know if we can, but there are RMP classes if you're like a sophomore and up, and then you get a performance opportunity in that class. And I think maybe freshmen can do RMP. I don't know.
No, freshmen don't do rehearsal.
Never mind.
They have a freshman cabaret.
They have a freshman
show. Our new student
That's
show.
where I was going to go
Remember
next.
that thing we did?
And then there's a big showcase that the freshmen put on, not just freshmen, but like every new student puts on. That is the new student showcase, and you bring like a number that you want to do, and you make a show with all the freshmen and new students, and you put it up, and you show the faculty, and you show your parents, and you show everybody in the department what you can do, and it really helps, I think, with casting, and it helps giving you a performance opportunity.
There's also the musical theater workshop class, which all performance majors take at least once.
Really?
I think.
All music theater majors take it 3 times.
3 times. So you take it a lot.
Actors can take it. Actors can take
Oh,
it.
they can.
So you have the opportunity to take it if you want to, and it is a class that results in a performance. More so, it's an awesome opportunity to perform because it's kind of more, I guess, evenly based, sort of, like everyone puts the show together, and there's a teacher to moderate and make sure things move along smoothly, but it's kind of student put together, like your opinion is used very frequently to make the production.
And then you also have like the student directing opportunities where like you have the new student show that students direct, then you have the room plays, and then last semester, Amanda Czar picked 4 students to help direct for, I think it was 4 different shows in her R&P class. So like there's always, if there's something you want to do, there's opportunity in the school to do it.
How many do you have directed? Boom.
And directing for Tristan and I last semester in that R&P class came because we talked to teachers and we said that we wanted to direct. So they take your opinion into account and create opportunities for you.
Well, if you voice what you want to do, like the first 4 weeks of freshman year, I was in Laura Feinhox's office every single day almost, demanding what I wanted to do. And she helped so much. So yeah, it works.
Alexis?
But kind of also in that same direction when it comes to whether or not freshmen can get cast. I know my freshman year, I didn't get cast in anything. And a big part of the department also is that you have to take responsibility for making work for yourself, like Tristan or like Jared and I did the new student show. And that's also a big part of the department is that it kind of teaches you when you're in the real world and you're not doing something that you still have to be working at your craft and doing something. Otherwise you will just sit around. And
True.
that's your fault.
Jared?
And one of the best things about the school is there is a film school across the way, and we always are working with film students. You can put your like headshot and your resume up in the film school, and then they will call you and cast you. And you will like pretty much, if you want work, you will always be working here. Whether it's in the film department, whether it's in the theater department, whether you're going to go sing in the contemporary music department at like one of their forums, there's a performance opportunity there. You will always have an opportunity to perform here, which is one of the main reasons I came here in the first place.
Not to mention the professional opportunities outside of campus.
Yes.
Well, because you can do, what was it, school?
Yeah, a few of
trials?
us, I don't know who all was in it. Raise your hand if you were in Squad Trials. The second Maze Runner film, they were posting like audition lists or whatever on the bulletin board outside of the mailroom that we have on campus. And a few of us sent in our headshots, resumes, and all that jazz. We auditioned for it, we got in, and they were filming 45-minute drive up to Albuquerque, and we drive up there, stay there, down there, drive down there, and I mean, you get there 6 o'clock at night, and you're filming until 5, 6, 7 in the morning in 2-degree weather. But you're making like $150 a day, so you're like, absolutely, I'm gonna put my body through this.
Plus you're on camera. So.
Yeah, you're on camera, you get to meet people. We met a lot of people, got to get our foot in the door.
Got to see explosions.
Yeah. Got to run by explosion cars. Isn't that you?
Well,
Oh,
well, and then also we have Longmire filming on campus, and then so there's opportunities with that, and then we have a vast number of theaters here that you can go and work at. I know recently I co-directed a show at Warehouse 21, so like there's tons of work. If you're not working, something's wrong.
Next question for our music theater people. So what would you recommend people that have never taken a voice lesson to strengthen their voice and stuff like that?
Do it.
Well, when you first come here, there are many voice teachers that will work with you of all different levels, very understanding. Then they will throw you right into it. I mean, when you take voice lesson classes, then there are studios where everyone who takes voice lesson classes comes and performs for each other. And in the last one I went to, there were several people who had just started taking voice lessons for the first time and had made vast improvements. And it's just all about putting the work in, but there are people there to help you no matter what level you are at.
We also have a musicianship course. So if you don't know anything about music, you just know, like, you listen to the cast recording and you're like, I know the recording now. But like, but now that you know, you can learn how to read music. We have a musicianship course that just focuses on teaching you how to read music correctly. And I think that that's very helpful for the students.
Yeah, and you take that as a freshman.
Yeah, as a freshman, you
And
just start
actually,
out.
I'll just insert, we're changing a little bit. That musicianship course used to be shared with the contemporary music program. It might be in the future, but this coming fall, the freshmen will study with our lead voice faculty, Andrew Schmidt, and we'll be doing group voice as a freshman fall endeavor to prepare you for private voice. Yeah, doesn't mean you couldn't take private voice, but we've crammed the freshman fall for music theater jam-packed.
Maggie?
Well, for someone who has never taken voice, I came into this school never having a voice lesson, never singing a song, and whenever I did, it was awful. So I took a private voice lesson for my first semester, trying to gain up my strength and learning how to read music and how to stay on pitch and all that stuff. But my private voice lesson actually helped me to gain confidence in my voice. And then she also did studio classes with me. So I recommend taking a private voice lesson first so that they can work with you and see where you are and tell you what range you are and what you can do. And they'll offer songs that you can sing for basics. So that really helped me. And I've come a long way since then.
And I think even if you can't sing, I think that's something that's very beneficial because you gain a lot of confidence because you do have to sing in front of a bunch of people, whether you like it or not, when you take the voice lessons. So that's just one thing, I think.
Alexis?
Yeah, I was gonna say that freshman year I cried through my musical audition, and this year I'm playing Martha in Heathers.
Started from the bottom. Now we're good.
And you work on it for 4 years with a private voice teacher, you tend to do better.
Alexis, Maggie, and Britton are acting majors. So the music theater majors have a little different, background when they come into us, but the acting majors also take private voice.
Definitely. All right, moving along to our next question. So for design majors, what would you say is something unique about our program? And then how much one-on-one time do you have with faculty and staff?
I think that the most unique thing about our program is that we are a really small school. And even with coming in as an acting major or tech, you get the opportunity to start working on shows and start stage managing or start lighting designing or light designing or costume designing really quickly. If you express an interest in it and you put the work in, after your first semester, you will probably get an assignment. I know, like I said, I came in as music theater, and then after like halfway through my first semester, I switched, and then that time next year, I was stage, and you get so much one-on-one time with the directors, with Chris, the technical director, with Laura, with anybody that you have questions, they will help you, and you get to work with your directors closely, and they help you, they guide you along. I think that's like my main reason why I came here, is because it's smaller and there's so much one-on-one time. You don't have to be getting your master's to work on stuff. You're getting an undergrad here, and you get to work, if not more than you would at a master's program. And I think that's really special about our school.
And then at the beginning of every semester, there is a portfolio review where you bring anything you are interested in working on, whether it's set, whether it's lights, no matter what you want to do, you bring it in and you show all of the faculty. They walk around and they get usually about 2 minutes to talk to you. And you can basically just tell them anything you want to do and what your interests are, and then we'll take all of that into account when assigning shows, which I think is really awesome, because that's how I got to work, not only in stage management, but also lighting and set design as well.
Yes, Maggie.
I'd like to offer up something too. For the people who just have a minor in tech, like me, you can also go into the workshop and ask if there's anything you want to do, and Lucian will help you with it. For example, I asked him if I could learn how to weld, and he's doing private lessons with me on Thursdays now. I mean, this department is very hands-on with you. You just have to ask.
Nice. Yes, Tristan.
Well, and I think one of the best one of the most unique things about the classes as a minor is that I'm in Principles of Theater Design, and right now we're in this crazy track. We design a show, and then in 2 days we get another play we have to read, and then in 3 days you design everything from costumes to set to lights, and like by the time you're like, oh wow, let's go to Broadway now. Like, I can do this. So I mean, it's really hands-on, and it's so fast that you get in it and you run with it, and it teaches you. You don't think you're learning anything, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, wow. So yeah, it's amazing.
Not that we design all shows here in 2 days. It's an introductory level. Clarifying.
All right, y'all. So there is a person that sent in a question saying if he wants to be, or he or she wants to be voice actor. She. Sorry. If Mallory wants to be a voice actor for animation, cartoons, and stuff like that, what can you get from our department to train that?
Oh wow!
Y'all
know.
Alexis? So Nebraska?
Well, I actually am looking into becoming a voice actor because I want to sing for Disney, because that's the dream. You get to take ESCOL here, which is phenomenal. Raise your hands if you took ESCOL. 1, 2, 3. How many hands are up? That's how many people have taken ESCOL in this panel. But I've taken it 3 times now, I want to say, and I learn more each and every time I take it. You learn various techniques to help your voice. ESCOL 1 is for actors, correct?
Actors and singers.
Actors and singers. ESCOL 1 is mainly for acting, like if you go on stage and you learn how to do like a stage whisper, you use retraction and swaying and stuff like that, which I don't know what that means yet. And then ESCOL 2 really gets into the singing aspect for singers. And I know I just actually finished the class like last week. Oh, Donna, I love you too. Yeah, and Megan. And it was great. I mean, this semester we learned how to take songs, well, audition, really. We just learned how to audition. So let's say you're auditioning for something and they say they want a song from like the 1950s or the 1960s. You then get to identify each and every aspect of those songs by using your Estel techniques, and then choose a song, and then you get to audition with it. And you get to workshop it over the course of the class too. So I'm gonna take my
And as far as voiceover goes, one of the projects you do in Estel 1 is an animation project. You pair up with someone else in the class and you pick an animated scene, just like a 5-minute, 3-minute, something like that, short scene, and you just sit up there in the dark and you turn on the scene on mute and you go up there and voice over all of the characters live using your Estel techniques, trying to like embody different characters and different voices using these techniques. So as far as voiceover goes, that's really useful.
Also want to add, this semester we had advanced film, and it is advanced film, but we also look a lot of into the professional world and all the different areas where your acting career can expand, whether it's voiceover, whether it's TV, film, radio, like everything. So you get a variety of everything that you can do with your with things that you've learned. Yeah, last one, Jared.
One of the things that's the best about this program is also they have an animation part of the department in the film school. And I know a lot of people who do animation there, and you can actually work on the craft of animation and voiceover there. And that's really great. I think that they're going to be offering an animation beginners class next year, according to Alicia, but I'm not so certain. But otherwise, there are people who are going to need voice actors, and you're going to have an opportunity to perform as a voice actor too.
All right, next question. So, are there any fun extracurricular activities that you can do it with a department?
Wait, what?
Alyssa.
Well, now I don't know. Somebody else answer that one.
I wouldn't say that we really have extracurriculars.
Room plays are.
Oh, those are.
Oh.
They like a
bowling team.
Oh, the master classes. So we have master classes that you can take. This semester there's a fight combat, right? And the same guy that's doing the fight combat class is also directing a room play. I'd say that is RMP kind of.
Oh yeah, there's also
no.
RMP extracurricular, room plays or extracurricular OBL.
There's
Oh,
also
yeah.
but I was going to say the workshops that you get for us. Laura, our amazing chair, is trying very hard to get a bunch of workshops in for us. Like the stage back one is one, and wasn't there another one?
Mary was here. Mary Elsie from Houston Grand Opera was here as a stage manager for 2 weeks. 10 days. A long time.
It's a while.
Yeah. We love her. Mayor Versace's gone. And she had workshops with all the different stage management teams. We had felting workshops.
Yeah, and if you have an interest in anything that we don't have a class for, if you talk to Laura, she will try and get you a workshop for something. I know we've been talking about special effects makeup. I don't know if that's happening. But it's been talked about, and if there's more interest in it, she will get it to happen. Like that's how we got the stage combat stuff and stuff like that. So basically just get your voice out there about what
We talked about this a little bit earlier, but the directing opportunity that Tristan and I had last semester was extracurricular because it was for the R&P class, but we weren't being graded on it or anything. It was just something that we would go train with them and learn Suzuki and viewpoints, or I trained with them because Tristan already knew. And then on weekends, we would direct a show with them. And like I said, that only came about because we raised our voices about it and said we wanted something like that. So.
Well, and then I did like quote unquote a mini room play last semester with Donna Bella. And I just asked permission from Laura if we could do a show comprised of 3 cuttings of a Greek tragedy, a modern play from a playwright here in Santa Fe, and then a monologue by Terrence McNally. and we just put it on. We did rehearsals, and then we had a show date, and people came and saw it, and that's all she wrote. So I mean, like, you can, if there's something that the department is not providing, they will provide it. Like, just ask.
Which takes us to our next question: is do you feel like the program caters to you as an individual?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Does that no experiences?
I mean, yeah. Well, because like at first I started off as an actor and then I went into tech, and they're very helpful with everything. Laura is also helping me right now produce a young playwrights festival that I'm trying to put on at the end of the semester. And this department is very, very helpful to every individual. You just have to actually ask for what you want. I mean, we can't read your minds.
On a side note on this question, are there any transfer students? What was y'all's experience transferring here and adapting to this department?
Oh.
As a transfer, you really have to be proactive with your education. You have to really voice what you want to do. Like, I harassed everyone through email before I got here, asking what was available, what I could do. In my first semester, I assistant designed 2 shows. So it really depends on what you want to do and how you go about asking, and how about just how you want to do things. And just ask is basically the secret to your success.
That should be our slogan now. Just
Can't read your mind.
I'm going to point some people out since they've been really quiet. But Bryce, for example, for next question, what is something, since you're a senior, what is something you wish you'd have known the first day when you got here, and that you don't now know that you're graduating, you know?
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
That I
Your
know
first,
now.
like, your first day here.
Wait, can you repeat?
The
Sorry.
question's up there.
I can't read that.
So, Bryce.
Wish you would have known before saying.
Gosh. I lost mine. Let's see. I have to think about that.
Really like Celine Dion.
Well, when I was starting out here, before I came here, I was very, very nervous. And I didn't know how I didn't know how I would survive in college. And everyone was very welcoming, and I wish I knew that before coming here, because that would take a lot of the tension out of what I was going through. And yeah.
Yes, Alexis.
With the same question, I would say the thing that I wish that I had known before I got here, and then coming here and realizing, is that you have to have a work ethic. Otherwise, you're basically dead in the water. Like I kind of said that before, but you have to bring it, because everybody else is going to bring it. And if you don't, you can't just be bitter in your room. You have to do something about it.
Right. Like you said, I think it's very easy to get lost in your dorm the
Yeah.
first couple of weeks since you're still transitioning.
Yeah.
But there's people out there, there's a whole department that's trying to do the same thing as you are. Which leads us to our next question. How open is this department?
Meaning?
Like, how close, do you get to know the whole department?
Small, but you kind of have to get to know everyone.
And we also have like the mentee mentor program, like at the very beginning of the year, when the freshmen come in or transfer. Alexis hit it up this year.
Yeah, dude.
And you kind of mentor these people into our department, teach them how it's ran. And if they have questions or they're scared in the middle of the night because they're missing home, they can run to you and you take them to Baskin Robbins, and it's great.
Right.
The classes are small enough where you get to form meaningful relationships with your instructors. Like, you have maybe at most 17 people in a class, 17 to 20. So you get to know everyone, and which is really nice.
Small department, very diverse.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. All right. Yes, Lee.
Oh, I'd say that the freshman showcase is also a really great way to get to know like your ensemble base. That the rest of the people in your grade. I didn't look at it so much as like a showcase to like show other people like what I could do. I like looked at it more as a way of like meeting new people, like really getting to know these people. So it's really
Donna?
great.
And in terms of it being open to just everyone who's here, I know this year our musical auditions, for example, were incredible because of how supportive everyone was of everyone in the audition and everyone in the callbacks. Yeah, just the auditions in general were really nice because everyone was so cool about wanting their friends and their peers and everyone to succeed. So I think that's something we really have going for us.
Yeah, like this is a competitive environment. Everybody's competing for roles, but at the same time, we still want everyone here to do a good job because, I mean, we're here learning together. We're here supporting each other. We're here for each other if anybody needs it. Like, it's really cheesy, but we're kind of a big family.
So,
it's very cheesy.
next question. So we all know we take our core classes, but we don't take any math or science specifics. Do you regret not taking those classes?
Well, and yeah. Let me just talk about it as a professor. We are actually looking at re-adding math into the course to open faculty debate currently. No, listen, hear me out. Because we think there are certain design tech majors that might really benefit from an artistic view of geometry.
So is that just for design?
Everything in our core is supposed to, they can tell you whether they think otherwise, but it's supposed to be geared to the dialogue of contemporary artists and art practice. So the discussion about math and the faculty is what principles of geometry or natural repetition or calculus as applied specifically to structures, would our students really love and benefit from and could be taught in a way, I know they're all cringing, it can be taught in a way that we actually think the principles are pretty interesting and worthwhile. So that's an open faculty discussion. Now let's let every raised hand speak.
Yes. All right. Okay, so I really want to speak on this because one of the main competitors for me choosing this school was actually a computer engineering program. And I really considered going into either mechanical engineering or computer science. And as you can probably guess, there's not much of that here. However, at least for me, I've been able to kind of itch that technical itch by working at the shop a lot and learning how to use all of the equipment and stuff in there and learning how to, correctly build geometric structures in space and apply those principles. So from a perspective of someone who does like math, there are ways to get that here, even without that class.
That's what Jared. There is also a math class during the summer courses. If you want to take a math class so you feel like you're like ahead of the game in that world, there are summer courses where you can take math, and there you go.
All right, so let's talk about a little bit about our campus life experience, specifically on campus dining. Talk about the cafeteria, food, stuff like that.
Don't be picky. I mean, the food here is a lot better than most college campuses.
Yes,
I will tell you that right now.
It's fresh. A lot of people, like a lot of my friends that go to like bigger state universities, like tell me like
pizza
how
and chicken fingers.
Well, they tell me like how like bad their produce is, and like here it's like actually pretty good.
Yeah, vegan options, vegetarian options, all the things.
There's options.
I was getting
Another quick thing, just as a warning, we do have some great food, but the freshman 15 is real. It's unlimited. You walk in and you scan your card, and the whole thing is your playground, and you can eat whatever you want. So although there are healthy options, there are also not healthy options. So just be prepared.
Yes.
I know I was kind of concerned first coming in here my freshman year because at the time I was a vegan. And we always had
what happened?
He stopped caring about animals.
I discovered I love myself. But the thing about it is that at every meal they always had vegan options, so I know I wasn't gonna like die or starve.
And it's not just salad.
And it's not just salad. We have just like orange chicken or whatever they're serving tonight. They'll have the exact same thing, but a vegan option.
All right, moving on to the next
You
question.
know what, Ramiro, let me just break for a second. Our music theater majors and our stage managers in the musical actually have to eat dinner.
Yes.
It's this funny thing, speaking of food. So they're going to disappear to the lobby to get pizza, vegan options included. And we're going to say to the design tech majors to the left and the acting majors, music theater majors who are not in the musical.
Bye.
So we're liquidating. Bear with us for a moment. You guys come have a
I'm
seat.
really comfortable here. I'm just
Have a seat. Okay, quick reconfiguring and then we're coming right back at it.
You're good?
All right.
Maybe I'll look good? All right, so, are we all good? Next question. Since we just went through BFA evaluations, what is the difference between a BA and a BFA for sophomores? Yes.
Jump in here, Jocelyn. Grab a chair.
I came in as a BFA major, and now I'm a BA major. But I think the main difference is with the BFA, you're more narrow and focused on what your major is. And being a BA allows you to take more outside classes and allows you to do more things than just, say if you're a BFA acting major, you can take more classes outside of that, like at other departments. But yeah, okay. That's it.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think BFAs are like really like focusing on like if you're wanting to do the acting thing, if you want to do the design thing, that you're going to like get.
Yeah, it's very narrow, very focused.
Yeah, it's very focused so that when you leave here, you're ready to go out into this industry and say, okay, I can survive. So yeah.
I think the BA allows you more exploration.
Yeah.
You know, in credits and the way you spend your credited time in the school. You can explore a little bit more into why, if you had an interest in photography and you wanted to do a double, a major BA in theater performance and a minor in photography. You could do a BFA with a minor, as this guy right here is, and so is several people. But you know, if you wanted to spend more structural time exploring different areas of campus, then that a BA might be a more open way to do that.
Definitely. So I know that recently Megan had the opportunity to do a video on the day of a theater student.
Oh.
So would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Well, that was just like a really exciting thing. I was approached by, what are they called? 12 FPS.
Yeah.
And they were doing an ad campaign for the school. And apparently I was referenced by some lovely faculty members. So I don't know how that came about. But
She's a terrible, terrible.
yeah, I don't know. They did that because they pitied me because I wasn't cast in anything. But it's not true. But, but yeah, so they just wanted to do like a little interview and take some pictures and some video. And so it's actually my week for the campaign right now. So if you're on the SFUAD social media pages, you've been seeing my pictures for the past week. But that was just like, it was just really interesting. I don't know. It was fun to talk about the school in an open way. I don't know.
What is a regular day for a theater major?
Well, it depends on what you're doing because there are so many opportunities for work for a theater major in any of your specializations or concentrations that your day can vary a lot. If you're cast in a show, obviously you'll have rehearsals. Myself personally, most of my classes are more morning, early afternoon, so I'm done by the evening. And I was cast in Polaroid Stories earlier in the semester, so that took up a lot of my time, but now that it's over, I don't have that anymore. So it just depends on what you're doing. Do any of you guys have more input on that?
I know there's like my freshman. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jocelyn.
Oh, hi, I'm Jocelyn. I'm design tech. You haven't seen me yet. So because I'm design tech, and I'm one of those weirdos that hasn't declared a specialization yet, my day starts usually at like 9 in the morning. Like today, for example, I worked in the scene shop, and then I had like a 2-hour lunch break, which actually was kind of consolidated into like an hour because I was doing more work in the scene shop. And then I jumped over to the costume shop during R&P, which is class time. And now I'm here. So it's like a long, wonderful day of things to do. It's busy and it's crazy, but you kind of live here and it's awesome because you get to know all the ins and outs and like you get to find the cool tools and like where all the cool spots are. But it's fun and you're doing your job and it's really cool. That's great.
Yes.
I think to tack on to that, I'm Andy. I'm a stage management kind of person. But I do a lot of stuff. I think what's really cool is there is flexibility in like how you go about your day. For me personally, I'm a night owl. I'd rather stay up till 2 and sleep till 10 o'clock than wake up at 8 a.m. like Jocelyn does. But I still, you know, my day, I have my classes in the morning and then I have R&P in the evening, and we have times where I do a lot with the student marketing team, so we're working on that. And you are definitely, you're here all the time, but it's in a good way where, you know, sometimes you're gonna have dinner with your friends while you work on drafting homework, and you know, during those crazy like paint calls where you're here the whole weekend, like I have a special nap corner no one knows about, you know, that I know is my little quiet place to go where nobody's gonna find me. And you find those things, and it makes it easier.
I know for me coming in as a freshman, wanted to do a lot of things, and my day would go from, you know, waking up at 6 in the morning, going to, you know, your daily routines, breakfast, then you go to classes, then you would end up at rehearsal from like 6 to 10, and then you would be shooting a film that night from like 11 to 2 in the morning, and then it repeats again. You know, I feel like most of us.
And Ramiro still had time to go to the gym.
Yes, always. All right, next question. So, how would you say you can balance acting, dancing, and singing, or what is your balance within our program? What do you get to focus? What you want to do more? Do you do more acting? Like, how do you?
I think it just depends on the person. I mean, well, honestly, it does. It depends on like what you guys want to do more. Like, if you want to do more acting, you can focus more on acting. You can do more voice lessons or dance. It really just depends on what you want and how you budget your time. The department won't do that for you.
Although we do require, like, there's a strict paradigm you're following, and then as I think what Maggie's saying, you know, just to clarify that from the degree standpoint, we're going to tell you, you know, in order to get this degree, there are these classes and these sequences that you must take, and then there are electives. So you could choose, if you happen to love dance, you could choose to load up on extra dance classes or voice classes. Does that
voice? Yeah, that's practically what I'm saying. Like, it all depends on, there are classes that you need to take, but it just depends on which ones that you want to take at the time. So it depends on like how you budget your time between the classes. Does that sound?
So you follow a sequence that the faculty is dictating, but yes, Maggie's right. If there are things that you are really passionate about, there are ways to find additional time to put into those. Credit time, or elective time.
Like, it kind of goes back to the Just Ask thing, because I know for me, I'm strictly tech. And when I heard about the combat class, they're using swords, they're sword fighting, they're learning rapier. And I was like, as soon as I heard swords, I was like, I gotta do it, Laura, I wanna be in that. And she was like, no, we don't have enough space, And finally I got the email that said techs can do it. And I was like jumping up and down in my room. I was so happy. So Jocelyn and I are taking sword fighting, and we're just tech people. But we actually learned how to like write in your stage management book about the about the choreography and fight choreography. So that was really educational, I think, on an SM standpoint.
What would you say is one of the most stressful aspects in your life or throughout your career here in college?
Finding enough sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Time management and sleep.
I think what's really nice though is, in case you haven't gotten this already, like, theater degrees are hard. It's not the yay, I don't have to take math thing. It's the this is really, really hard. And there's gonna be moments where you're fried and you think you can't do it anymore. And the students and staff here are amazing. If you're about to melt down, one of your teachers or one of your friends is gonna hug you and be like, no, have a chocolate, you can do this. Our scene shop manager is like the king of have a piece of chocolate and calm down. So, needless to say, we've become very good friends.
What I find to be most stressful is like there's this expectation that you know what you're doing, and you don't always feel like you know what you're doing. And sometimes you don't know what you're doing. You have no clue, but you've been thrown into it anyway. So you say, okay, here I go. Like I had to make an apron for Heather's coming up. And I had like zero instruction on how to make this apron. I'm reading this pattern going, oh my God, help me. And I knew how to sew on a sewing machine, but I couldn't like figure out how to do this. And it was really stressful. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna let everybody down. And this is awful.
but then it's okay. And you finish the apron and it all works out. But it's a lot of stress. You think like everybody's going to judge you if you don't know what you're doing. But if you just ask, please help me, somebody will say, okay, let's do it. Let's fix this. So,
It's a lot, I think, how much you put on yourself too, because the teachers at the end of the day realize that you are students and that you're here to learn. And yes, they expect a lot out of you, but they also know you're students, so they're also willing to help a lot. Like, I know for me, I'm really scared of heights, but today I volunteered to go up on the scaffold so that I can try to get past that. And our lighting engineer was like, you really don't have to do it if you don't want to. And I'm like, no, for me, I need to do this. So it's all about what you push yourself to do. And I think the more you push yourself, the better.
I'm going to go back to the BFA question that we targeted earlier. So what is the process of getting your BFA? So for acting majors and or tech, the audition process, how do you go by requirements, and then how do you get feedback from it? Maybe Austin and Cardi, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
I know I actually came in as an acting major and just recently switched over to a tech major, so I actually know both of the processes. I only went through the tech side of it though. For the tech side, you do a portfolio review, which we just participated in that. And it's a portfolio review where it's as opposed to the one that's at the beginning of every semester where it's you and one faculty member, it's you and 6 or 7 faculty members, which is a little bit stressful, but it's doable. And you have 5 minutes to basically explain all of the work that you've done up to that point at the school and outside the school. And then you're evaluated on that work, and we're still pending whether we know or not.
None of us know if we got it
So
or
the
not.
purpose, the faculty really look at qualitatively, are you showing preparation for the degree? Are you showing aptitude for the degree? What has your performance level been like? What are your grades like? You know, which is a factor, active factor. And qualitatively, do we think you're preparing yourself to the expectations that the industry has, that you will graduate with, and that we have for you, and that you have for yourself? So that is an open conversation and a fairly frank conversation that we will have with some of the students who just auditioned or did a portfolio review and in the past.
Next question. Do you feel like you have time to take class from outside of the department, like art, design, and stuff like that, maybe even film? And what is your experience with those classes? Yes.
Well, I took my freshman year, I took the history of contemporary photography. So there's time, you have electives. But for drawing, as when I started my tech minor last semester, we had a drawing class that encompassed, 1 point and 2 point perspective, and then with Laura, and then we went into the second half of the semester with Marsha Jory, where you learned how to draw like the fabrics and stuff like that. So there's always ample opportunity to do that.
Ramiro, you've taken graphic design.
I've taken graphic design, I've taken tech class, I've taken acting classes. And I mean, it goes back to what we mentioned earlier, when there's a will, there's a way, you know what I mean? And when there's a drive, you can always figure it out. Maybe not have much sleep, but you'll figure it out. Definitely, yes.
And I mean, at the end of the day, the cool thing about college is you're paying for the classes. Yes, there's a degree plan, but you get to choose your classes and you get to choose what you want to take because you're paying for it. So there is definitely opportunity. There's a course catalog you get to look through that you can take whatever is available to you. It's available to anyone, really.
And I know many students also audit classes, and they can take up to like 22 credits a semester. So it's definitely doable. Our next question is, do you have a showcase, and when is it during the semester?
We have the freshman news show.
Yeah.
That's the first semester of your freshman year, and like that this year I directed it, and it was with Bryson Hatfield, and it was in the WEC. So
I think she might mean industry showcase. Okay. So let me take that for just a second. We do not farm our students to Los Angeles or New York for a formal showcase. We're talking about that as a faculty, but it does not currently exist. What we do instead is invite casting agents to many of the live performances, the live shows. And then we invite casting agents, major casting agents in the area. There's so much film and television here, to the final scenes of the acting for camera classes. And then the other way in which I think we serve our students who show aptitude and interest in graduate school auditions, there's a sort of yearly effort to coach those students towards graduate auditions. So class of 2014, we have the youngest student at Yale, MFA acting. We have the youngest student at Brown Trinity Rep. They were in last year's webinar. We have a student at LSU, a student at University of Washington, SMU, and NYU. So, and then out of some of the casting agent pieces, 2 of the students of 2014 who didn't really feel compelled, they were actors, didn't feel compelled to do the graduate school thing. They've been booking work locally. They both, Jordan and RJ, booked work on Nick Nolte's series Graves that shoots here. As RJ got a recurring role, and I think Jordan got a day player role. And then RJ's just booked a major motion picture, and he's one of 10 firemen. And that's shooting here. That's breaking news. We're going to be following that. But I think that's a way in which we're serving the purpose of the showcase. But the answer is currently we do not offer an industry showcase, I think in the way, Rebecca, that you intended that question.
Our next question is, what makes a good actor/actress, and what motivates you?
Better question. I guess what makes a good actor or actress is being willing to work past your fear and put everything out there and just let yourself explore and find what you can in the script or in yourself. And it's mainly about working out of trying to work past your fear, because that's what you're going to come here and experience, is the fear of, oh, I'm actually acting. And then you're going to figure out, oh, I'm acting, this is really fun. Or you're just not gonna like it, you know? And then you'll discover something else. But basically, like, it all depends on what you find in class. And I know what motivates me is, like, actually getting up in front of the audience and feeling their energy and, like, being able to show my work and put on this piece that we've worked so hard. I mean, that's what motivates me.
Also, I think something that makes a good actor or actress is a willingness to listen to other people and to take criticism. Because I think one thing that holds a lot of people back is thinking that they don't need to listen to what anyone else has to say, that they're perfect the way they are. And if you're not going to collaborate or listen with other people, that's going to be such a huge hindrance on being a good performer, because acting, it's an art. You've got to work with other actors, and you've got to work with people that are designing the shows that you're in. Or if you're in film, the film people. But I think that's one thing, you really have to work well with others and listen to others and collaborate. I think that's something that's very important. And as far as the motivation goes, especially in this school, it's what motivates me personally is I kind of like compete with myself, because I see all of these other people and they're all supremely talented. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. And just looking at them, it's like, I want to be that good, or I want to get to that level, or I want to get past that level. I want to do the best work in class today. And so it's just like a little like internal, just like, do better, Megan, like, come on. And so it's just that little like motivation just to like get up to the level of the people you're working with. And you're never going to be the best, but as long as you tell yourself, I'm going to do the best work today, you'll at least do better than you would have before. So, yeah.
Definitely. I agree with her. There always has to be like an internal fire driving you. Also, what's really cool, which are tools for an actor, this school provides a lot of different techniques, whether it's Alexander, Suzuki, whether it's movement based, like whatever. And I think it's it's amazing that you can build your own actor tools from everything that you're provided with. You don't have to follow one or the other. You just take what you like and just go from there. Do we agree? Yeah. Cool. Next question. Summer, I think this one's more for Laura. Do we provide any summer classes, and what kind of summer class can people take?
We do. So this summer, for the first time, is anyone sitting here doing London? I am. Maggie is. Okay, let me answer this in a few ways. We do have summer session here, 2 summer sessions. It's a brand new thing. Very exciting. And we have 2 summer intensive workshops that are happening on campus just the last tail end of May. So that's happening in Santa Fe. And then we have students that are going and getting academic credit for pre-approved internships in New York, Chicago, London, Paris, Miami, I think, and LA. Hong Kong is one. I don't know if anyone's going to Hong Kong, but that was one of the cities. So some students are getting internship. So that is credit, so really they're going for a period of time and they're coming back in with credit for those internships. And then we have a new summer session in London. So and right now that's the performance students, either acting or music theater. You can choose between one of the 2 summer sessions. You live in the West End, there's an intro to London theater and either acting for camera or Shakespeare. And so that's a new thing. We have 9 students, Maggie included, participating, but you come away with 6 credits there. So that is their classes. The summer sessions here, we're offering a rehearsal and production section, and I think we'll expand those summer sessions as time goes by. We are offering voice lessons. There's a bunch of other campus classes being offered. In the special workshops at the end of May, we have an acting for camera instructor coming in from Los Angeles to do a very special intensive, and we're trying to catch the graduating seniors as well. Like Ramiro is likely to be part of that. And then we have a music theater performer from New York coming in to do 2 sections of music theater audition. And those are just 2 weeks right before, you get it in right before Memorial Day, but after graduation. So there's a number of ways one could do something in the summer here. And then lots of students stay here and work.
And
Is
I
that
know
fair?
one of the things that we're looking into very highly, and tech students get involved with this as soon as you get here to Santa Fe, is having a tech group go to London.
Yep, it's a whole goal. Tech.
It's a big goal.
We are
so-
eating Scottish
The wheels are
salmon and
turning.
eggs, tech group,
Every
next
day
summer.
for
So
whatever
actors
reason.
and music theater get to go to London this summer, and that's a rolling thing. We'll do it next summer too. But the tech students, we're waiting to customize a tech program in London for next summer. So everyone's saving their money in tech.
On that note,
Yeah.
do techs have option to act in main stages?
Okay, they have option. You could certainly audition, and you would take the rehearsal and performance class or rehearsal and production class. Any student across campus could technically audition and be cast in a show, and they would have to take the rehearsal and production class. Now, a tech student would then have to negotiate, if they were a sophomore through a senior, how we were going to handle the tech side of their degree, because they too do a rehearsal and production class. But we could work that out. Yeah.
Do you feel that choosing college changed you as a person?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Choosing this college.
Yeah,
This college.
choosing this one, I feel like that I'm being prepared to go into this industry, and like, I don't know, I'm not scared to say that, I'm an actor, director, and I can do tech things, and that as soon as I leave this school, whether I go to Chicago or wherever, that I have a firm belief that I can do this. And I don't think going to a major university would have given me that.
Definitely.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go
Are
ahead.
you not calling us a major university? You
Well, I mean,
like
we don't have a
big
football
state-
team.
We
state
don't have
college.
sports.
And we don't have sororities and
He means a
fraternities.
Texas university.
Yeah, Texas University.
I almost went to the University of Missouri for psychology, and
Wow. I didn't know that.
And then I found out my cousin went here for musical theater. I think I don't remember. It was Tina musical theater. Anyone know
Tina, that was before my
Tina was-
time.
Tina
Tina
Hotel?
was
Acting major.
acting.
Acting? Oh, well, anyway. And my grandpa kept bugging me, you need to go to Santa Fe because Tina goes there. And so I auditioned and got in, and then I realized, wow, I don't want to do psychology. This is way more fun, and I don't regret it at all. So,
I know For me, it's kind of the funny things in life, the way they work out. I came to stay with my aunt who lives in Albuquerque for about a month in the summer when I was a sophomore in high school. And I didn't know this school existed. And my mom was convinced that she was going to brainwash me into going to UNM, that she was going to make me come live out here and go to college. And I was like, no, Mom, that's not going to happen. I don't want to move to New Mexico, no way. And we happened to find this school. And my aunt took me on my first college tour, which is a big point of contention in my family. And I ended up, lo and behold, this is the school I chose. And for me, I think that choice was important because I'm really close with my family, and I do have family in Albuquerque, which helps. But my mom's my best friend on the planet. It was the hardest thing I've ever done leaving home. But now I know that I can do it. And homesickness is definitely a sickness that gets better. It's not going to be with you forever, and you get a little, every time you leave gets a little easier. And now I'm going to spend 8 weeks in New York this summer, and I'm not terribly worried about missing my parents. I know I'll miss them, in a sense that it's like, oh, I wish I could do this with them today, but I'm not going to sit and wallow about missing my family. I definitely realized I could do that.
Back to the other question, Andy's doing an internship in New York this summer, and Tristan has just applied to go to the New York Arts program in the fall, which is a 16 credit opportunity. Just saying, other opportunities.
Well, and I think there's something to be said, because I didn't know that about Britain, and I almost went to Pace University in New York for biochem. So I mean, it says something about this department that we come to an art school instead of these very state schools and biochem and what was Isaac's computer technology, computer engineering. Now I read Shakespeare every day.
All right, your next question. So is it possible to double minor?
Double minor?
Do you have enough time in your schedule to double minor?
No. I know.
I don't even know if that's possible.
No, I bet you could do it. I'm not going to, don't quote us on this. I bet you could do it in terms of degree credits. The question really would be, could you do it in 4 years? Because each minor is an additional 24 credit
And guys,
experience.
Have fun, make friends, have family dinner nights.
If you technically
adopt a shelter kitten.
If you technically wanted to do a double minor, you might look at whether that BA program would allow you a little more time to do that, and you could look at a summer thing. So if Tristan was a BFA acting major with a minor in design tech, he could he could complete most of the credits for the new minor in business entrepreneurship within a summer. So it really depends on how motivated you are and what you wanted to do with your time.
Well, and technically, I know on the old paradigm, we got enough arts courses, for those of us who had to take all the art histories, I think we could technically finagle through a summer to get an art history minor. But I don't know that
It would be a lot of work because I have one minor and I don't take any electives. I live in this building, so it'd be very hard.
All right, y'all. So, would you say that outside opportunities are encouraged or discouraged?
Encouraged.
Encouraged.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I guess it boils down to time management and figuring all that out, but they're highly encouraged.
Well, the quote unquote rule is that, you signed a contract to come to this school, so this school takes precedence. But no one's gonna go to your dorm and chain you to your bed and say you can't go do Equus at Adobe Rose. No one's gonna do that to you. So.
Outside opportunities are encouraged, but the school always comes first.
Yeah.
School always comes first, but this industry is all about making connections, and that's something that's really important. I mean, you can't just sit here at this school and stick with these connections. You've got to reach out, branch out, and more connections, the better.
And I mean, they're definitely encouraged because casting calls and things are sent out constantly through the department. So it's not like we are not privy to that information.
You have to know how to time manage your day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But there's so many opportunities outside of campus as well.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What is your response to concerned students and parents about cost of the school?
I have.
Yes.
So, as a person who comes from a family that doesn't really have a lot of money, the school gives out a lot of scholarships and a lot of money because we're a private institution. So if you do well at school, in general, then you will get some money, and the school they want you to come here, they want you to be here, so they will give you money. Like, you just have to want it. You just have to be like, I want the money, and they'll be like, okay. And then even though I like always pay my balance late, right? There's no lie about that. I always pay my balance late. It happens. That's how life works. They're really, really nice about it. They're like, okay, well, just let us know. And even if when you let them know, like, you're like, I can't pay this until like next month, they're like, okay, we'll put it in your file, and now you can register with classes and go on with your life. And they help you. You just have to like be willing to work with them and like be willing to say, I'm having issues, and they'll say, okay. So it's a lot, but it's worth it. And that, like, just being here makes it all worth it. So it weighs out.
Austin?
And something that's actually really unique about this university is you are able to set up payment plans from anywhere to 1 month to 12-month payment plans with the university. Whereas at most universities, you pay the entire thing up front, meaning that you're gonna have to get out loans and get out all of this money to pay that. But at this university, you can directly pay the college in a payment plan, which makes things so much easier than trying to go through all these loopholes and paying all these different loan companies and things like that at regular universities or other universities.
And I know most people don't want to do loans, but if you are desperate for money and you loans is something you will eventually have to do. I definitely recommend Parent Plus for anyone. I almost didn't get to attend this semester because of an outstanding balance, and I finally caved and had to do Parent Plus, and it was so easy. So, I mean, of course no one wants to do loans, but Parent Plus is easy. You don't have to start paying it until after you graduate, or your parents don't. So it's them, not you.
I'm going to take this next question to Cara. And what is your experience juggling outside work? Your actual job and school.
Yeah. Well, I have to have a job because I don't live on campus. Usually people who live on campus don't really seem to have, go out and get a job. But if you happen to live off campus, it's a must, because you have to pay bills and rent, and that's part of life. But I had to get a job that worked with my timing. And I have a full day starting from 9 to 10 o'clock at night. So I had to go out and get a job at Starbucks. So my mornings actually start at 4 a.m. and go until like 10 at night. That's usually 5-6 times a week.
She's still so puppy.
And yeah, but it's all worth it because this is such a good school and such a great place to be at. I've learned so much, and I think actually balancing outside work with what you want to do as a career is also a good learning educational thing, because you are learning time management, and that's something I thought I knew I had, but now getting a job and then having a job in school, then having classes and then doing activities within theater and stuff, you have to really time manage. That is such a vital thing.
And also, to bounce back onto the last question, I moved off campus because it is so much cheaper. Housing is very expensive here. So as soon as you get the opportunity, I recommend moving off campus because it is a lot cheaper. I mean, you do have to get a job so you can pay rent and bills, but in the long run, that's less that you have to give to the school. That's less you have to worry about later.
Yeah, and people mostly get jobs like I have a job that starts in the AM, but Evangeline has a job she's a bartender in the weekend.
Have you picked up that we have twins going? Twin 1, twin 2.
And then just sometimes your schedule is a little bit more open during certain times of the semester, so you can work more. You can definitely find a job that accommodates your schedule. For sure.
I have work study here.
Yeah, raise your hand. If you guys have work study or CSA, raise your hand.
Everyone else here almost. And work study is the federal government allocates money to the school that is then allocated to students for jobs. And then we also have CSA, which is if you don't qualify for work study, the college has money that is then given to CSA funds.
Why don't you guys tell them what your work study or CSA positions are? I bet I don't know, maybe they'd be curious to hear what you do.
There's a lot.
Yeah, why don't you start?
I am a marketing graphic design director.
I'm the marketing director as well.
I'm a costume stitcher.
I work up in the office with Amy, and I help I help teachers with their lesson plans. Sometimes I do task around the theater.
And I just want to say Amy's our administrative assistant, and she rocks. So,
Yes.
I just want to say that.
The department ninja.
I'm an assistant house manager.
I'm house manager for Great Bars.
I am working in the scene shop. Everything scene shop.
And then I work on the school gym. So I'm not in the department.
I used to do the mail room.
Yeah, and I used to.
All right, couple last questions. Why Santa Fe?
Oh my God.
Why Santa Fe?
Santa
It's
Fe.
university.
So if you had from a bunch of schools to choose from, colleges to go to, why did you choose Santa Fe University of Art and Design in Santa Fe?
No, go ahead. No, you go. No,
Jocelyn. Oh,
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn.
We'll go Jocelyn Britton.
Or just Britton, go ahead.
Britton, go for it.
Okay. One of the great things about this school is that because it is so small, you're not going to get lost in a sea of people. You are going. There's a lot of one-on-one time with people. You're going to get to know the people around you. You're going to make lots of friends. There's so many opportunities. There's also a lot of filming opportunities, not just with the film school here, but there's a lot of major motion pictures that they need extras for, that they have constant casting calls for. It's a great place to make connections, and it's a great place to learn. It's really collaborative. It is a competitive environment, but it's also a very friendly environment.
So I chose Santa Fe originally as an art major because when I came and visited, I really liked the art department. And then I hated the art department. They're really wonderful, don't get me wrong. But I just did not like the art department. So I left. And then I came back on a whim. I'm like, well, I'll try the tech theater department. And I kind of just chose it because I was like, it's familiar, it's nice. But coming back, I realized why I chose it, like why I loved it so much, because it's small and it's intimate and like you get to know everybody. Like, you know, like my boyfriend is a creative writing major and I have all of creative writing friends, and then I have my tech friends, and I've got my room with an art major, and you get to know everybody. And it's like, even in your department, you're a mafia, and then you're like an even bigger mafia at the school. And it's really, really cool because you get to learn from everybody, and that's why I chose it. And Santa Fe's beautiful, in addition. Santa Fe's just
I had the choice of 10 other colleges, which were all
Maggie. That happens a lot. It happens a lot with our students. We get competitive students. They're often sought after.
It was a very competitive time, but other colleges. Okay, I'm sorry. The other colleges I visited, and they were really big, and you pretty much had to push people around and like get up in people's faces just to get one opportunity to be in a play. And so when I came here, it just kind of felt right. Because when I visited all the other colleges, yes, people were nice, but some of them focused more on academic, and some of them didn't focus on you at all. They just focused on, they just weren't very helpful. So when I came here, I just found like this was the place that was right for me. You know, it all depends on the person that you are. And, you know, this college is very small and intimate, and you really become good friends with the faculty and your classmates, and people actually care about you and take notice about you, and they actually give you the chance to have opportunities where you can direct or playwright or be in films. And this is just an environment that I didn't find at any of the other schools.
Yeah, and coming from a state school, you're such a number so quickly, and here you get that one-on-one attention and personal connections, and each faculty member wants to see you succeed, and you learn so much from having that personal connection and having that individualized attention and stuff. But yeah, definitely, like, I think I just kind of went off topic, but but yeah, it's just
Santa Fe calls you.
Yeah, You
If
don't
it's
feel like
you're gonna end up here
yeah, you
because
don't
it
feel like a
draws you
number
in.
here. You feel like
Yeah.
you're your own
Live
individual.
entrapment.
Well, and there's just so much more opportunity to work. Like I have a friend that went to a state university and for tech theater and got to work on one show as a spot op for maybe like 5 minutes within the show for an entire year. That's 2 semesters. Whereas like I've been here for 2 years and I've had my hand in almost every show in some way, shape, or form, whether it's house managing or assistant stage managing or building one prop. Like I've had my hand in almost every show since my time here.
Yeah.
And that's very unique to this program.
And I've only been here 1 semester. This is my 2nd semester here, and I've learned and have done so much more stuff than I've done in the past when I was at my state school for a year. I mean, it's incredible. It's such a great school. You have so many opportunities.
Well, and my friends get so mad at me because I have 5 friends that I graduated that we all went off in the country and went to pursue theater. And they're like, how do you work so much? Like, we don't get these opportunities. And like, that really like clicked in this summer when we were talking about it, that some of them have never even stepped foot in their theater other than to see a show. And that's
Really
so.
quick, on this note, last question for the day, y'all. So how many, we're gonna go back to what we answered earlier. How many shows do we have a semester and all the different types of shows that we do?
Actually, and can I say, it looks like someone asked, it is Rebecca, asked, are you looking at doing more shows per year? So let me answer that one because it's not official yet, but I guess I'm saying it on camera, so here we go. We are, so I inherited a program in which we do 4 main stage shows a year. We're looking at doing more shows next year, yes, on the main stage. We are looking at a 6-show season on the main stage. So we're currently in the process of choosing what that is. And we're in the middle of renovating our black box. So the black box studio shows, that's part of the reason we'll look at a larger number of main stage shows. And then we added the room plays. So there are 3 room plays minimum, actually, per semester. Actually, this semester there's 4. So I guess there's 7 room plays this year, 2 dance concerts. Right, this year there's 4 main stage shows. Next year there'll be 6. What do I miss? Freshman showcase. 2 music theater workshops. Right. So we did music theater workshop.
2 R&B showcases.
2 and
Yeah,
so there are 3
There was 2 last semester and then
and
there's
3
one.
this semester. So 7 rehearsal and production showcases.
There's always a show.
And there's always something to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like I'm
never not doing anything.
Yeah.
and it's just asking. I'm hyperactive, so I'm on marketing team also. I needed extra work because I couldn't sit still. So I do marketing team and I do box office, and it's all super fun. You get to be with these people all the time. So.
Definitely. So we hope we answered most of your questions, and if we did not get to yours, please contact your college rep, and they will be glad to help you all out. And Laura, anything else?
So we're at the season. It's part of the reason we do this right now. We're at the moment that students are receiving information from schools who are interested in them, that they've applied to, whether that be positive or negative. Students are weighing out options about Santa Fe University of Art and Design against, other schools that we're competing against. And then they're finding. And so, we want our students to be able to speak to you about why they value the experience here. The question about loans or someone earlier asked a question about cost. We're certainly competitively priced as private schools go. And actually, many of these students came from state schools, so they were weighing out that option as well. But I think we wanted our students to speak to you about why they would value an experience here and why it would be an experience they would pick over another school. We're out to win, but we're out to, give students an opportunity that's a lifetime opportunity that would really prepare them. So we just wanted to have the chance for our students to speak. And Andy wants to say something.
I was just thinking too, like on the scholarship note, Jocelyn was saying she did really good in school. And I know I was on the side where I'm also in the boat where if I don't have a scholarship, I don't get to go here. So I think that for one makes you work a little harder. But also I was in the boat where in high school, my grades were like, middle of the road. My SAT scores were middle of the road. But if you work really hard at theater and that's what you want to do, there's talent-based scholarships as well that are not as focused on were you the top student in your class?
You don't even have to send in your SAT scores for this school.
Yeah, for real though.
But we do have the highest GPA in the institution. Malcolm's laughing over the
Because we're all
corner.
here on scholarship.
Because
And you have to have a 3.0 GPA.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
to be
To
in the
participate.
BFA.
Yeah.
You have to do this stuff. You have to do this stuff.
But these guys wouldn't be here if they weren't talented. So that is the crucial piece of the program.
Correct. So we hope we answer most of your questions, and we hope to see you here next year.
Tune into our trailers. You can watch the live trailers or the trailers of our live shows. If you're curious what goes on here, how we costume, what the sets look like, what the students do, that's one great way. And you can tune into our Facebook page, Greer Garson Theater.
Hit like and subscribe.
Facebook, Instagram, everything.
Yeah.
Follow us.
Follow us. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.